back finally to another library read. Yeah. I finally managed to get back to the library. Those of you that follow me over at linsdell.com will know that I have had huge health issues all over winter, which got particularly bad in recent months, when I got pneumonia and all sorts of other wonderful things, which meant that basically I was in bed all the time, which is why there's been a bit of like a video going on around here lately. Anyway, I finally managed to get back to the library, and this is what the kids picked out this week. Okay, we've got Into the Forest, which is this one here, and Coyote Sings to the Moon, which is this one here. Okay, let's start with Into the Forest. Into the Forest, this one here. This is basically a twist on the Little Red Riding Hood story, because you've got a little boy at the beginning who is woken up in the night by a terrible sound, and then the next morning his dad isn't there and his mum doesn't seem to know when he's coming back, and the little boy's missing his dad, and then the next day the mum tells the boy that his grandma is poorly and so he should take her a cake, but points out that there's two ways to get to Grandma's house: the long way round, which takes her ages, and the short way through the forest. Okay, she says, don't go into the forest, said Mum, go the long way round. But the little boy decides that he wants to make sure he's home in case his dad comes back, and so decides to go the short route. Now, the middle part of the story, he basically, as he's going through the woods, he meets various different children who each say that they're poorly too, and so, but he doesn't actually do anything to help them. That part of the book I didn't like as much, also because it's never resolved. You don't know if these poor children are in fact some kind of evil magical thing, or if they are in fact poor abandoned kids lost in the forest, in which case he just leaves them there to their destiny. That bit's a little bit random. Then there's the part where he finds a red coat in the middle of the forest hung up, and puts it on because he's cold and he'd forgotten to bring a jacket with him. So then you get the whole Little Red Riding Hood kind of look on it. He finally gets to Grandma's house, but knocking on the door doesn't really sound like her. He's terrified, but he goes in anyway and finds that it is Grandma. Maybe her voice was just weird because she was not very well. We don't know. But also finds here's another voice behind him, and it turns out that's where his dad had gone, who'd gone to look after Grandma. So they then go home, and the mummy comes out, all smiles and hugs, and that's where it ends. I don't know, I get that it's giving a more original twist on the whole Little Red Riding Hood story, which, fine, not bad. This whole black and white forest look going on in the illustrations actually works particularly well, for example, on the page where you've got the red jacket, because it really makes the red jacket pop there. But at the same time, like, these poor little kids, they're all in black and white and he's the only one in colour, which, you know, it's sort of like here he's saying that the little girl has golden hair, but she's actually black and white in the picture and things, which led to a little bit of confusion on that. Like I said, the question's unresolved. As an actual idea, not bad and stuff, but also I was like, why did the mum not tell the boy that the dad had gone to look after his sick mum. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. My kids were like, you know, if daddy has to go away, you have to go away to do something, then tell us why. Which I think is completely legitimate. So anyway, yeah, not really sure how I feel about that one. And the kids, pretty much the same. Didn't really know. Moving on. Coyote sings to the moon. Now, this is a kind of explanation for why coyotes and wolves and things howl up to the moon. This was a much longer text than what we usually go for. See, that's the kind of text length on each of the pages there. This is going back to a long time ago, before animals stopped talking to human beings. There was an old woman who lived in the woods by a pond, and every evening she walked out to the pond and waited for the moon to come up. Okay, now back then the moon was much closer to the earth, so it was much brighter and things, and basically the little old woman sang to the moon every night. Then one evening all the other animals in the woods come out, and they decide that they're going to all sing to the moon. But along comes the coyote, who doesn't have a very good singing voice. And so the other animals kind of like say, oh no, you're not allowed to sing with us. Which he doesn't take too kindly to, because, I mean, come on, no one likes being told that they can't join in because they're not good enough. And so he starts talking and saying that he didn't want to sing to the moon anyway. You know, kind of like, who cares about the moon? So why do we have to sing to the moon anyway? The moon overhears him and gets offended, basically, and so she disappears, which sends everyone into panic, because they're like, without the moon to light up everything, the woods is all completely dark and very cold and things, and so they all start searching for the moon. The coyote is actually one that ends up finding the moon. He finds him in the bottom of the pond, who's playing chess at the bottom of the pond. And so he goes back up and tells the others that he's found the moon. And so they decide to sing to the moon again, hoping that that will encourage her to go back up into the sky. When they all sing, it doesn't work. And so the old woman tells the coyote to sing all by himself, which he does incredibly badly. And the moon goes back up into the sky to get away from his bad voice, basically. When he stops singing, the moon starts heading back towards the pond again, though. And so they decide that the coyote is, every evening, he's going to go up onto the hill, and he's going to wait for the moon to come out, and then he's going to sing to her, to keep her up into the sky, so that she doesn't go back down into the pond again. So there you go. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Shows that, you know, everyone has various different talents, even if their talent for some people, you know, is not fitting for what it is. It might be useful for something else. So, yeah, that wasn't bad. I have to say, not completely bowled over by the ideas of these books for this week, really. I don't know. What did you think of them? Have you read any other books which are like a remake of a classic, which might be better to check out than this one? Or, you know, read either of these? Got any thoughts you want to share about them? Got any ideas for other books that I should check out? If you do, then please leave me a comment and let me know, and I will do my best to track them down. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!